Alright, so this is what is inside of a 12 volt battery plate here. This one takes a Canon battery, not the LPE6 but another old camcorder battery, which is 7.4 volts, and actually steps it up to 12 volts. And over here I have a Sony NPF battery plate. You can see those numbers there, and I actually hacked this one earlier to power up my BlackMagic camera, and it actually worked fine. So I'm going back to this battery plate though, because as you can see it's a lot thinner. And then what I've done is I've tapered a hole here using a bit to kind of taper a hole for my bolt so that it sits flush and I can fit my battery in place. And this is going to mount on top of the BlackMagic Pocket Cinema Camera. So basically these battery plates here, you can find them online, and I've added a tip here that fits the Pocket Cinema Camera. So it'll take my standard 7 volt Canon battery, which is pretty huge. I'll show you that in a second. And it'll step it up to 12 volts, so it'll actually charge the battery in the camera as well as power the camera for much more runtime. I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so there it is, final product. You see my battery plates mounted to the side here, and I have this Canon battery. This is actually a really nice plate because it's very slim, and actually has a really hard lock here, so there's no way this battery is going to come out unless you force that tab in, because it kind of locks it in place. So hopefully this video is making sense, because I'm just kind of shooting it in pieces. I really don't have a plan for this. This is just something that, you know, I decided to work on. This is an adapter that I created for this plate. So I didn't really modify the plate very much. It is a battery plate. Let me take this out. You'll see that this battery here is a Canon battery. This is for the old Canon camcorders. I believe they're called like the GLs. So this is a BP 927 or 930, 7.4 volts. And what this battery plate does is it steps it up to 12 volts. So you'll see that if I put it in here, there you go. So if I power this BlackMagic Pocket Cinema Camera on, you'll see here it says 100%. I don't have a lens on here right now, so you're just going to see a black screen. You'll see it's 100%. Now you don't see the charging symbol. The reason why is because I actually don't even have a battery in here, so you know it works. But let's put a battery in here anyway. Alright, so you see it dropped down to 94% because it's actually showing the battery here. But if I unplug this, you'll see now that I plugged it back in, you'll see the charging indicator. So there's charging at 94%. If I unplug it, you see the charging indicator goes away right here in the corner. Plug it back in, so it's charging. So that is a very simple way to power up your camera for a longer period of time. Now I don't have any tests right now, but I could probably do something to see how much longer it will run, but I guarantee it's going to run a lot longer than the 20-30 minutes that you typically get from the smaller batteries that are inside here. So that's kind of cool. And I don't know if it makes sense putting this video together, but this is what I showed earlier. This was a Sony battery charger, and what I did was I gutted it, and then I used the guts from this 12 volt battery in here just to see if I could power my camera from these Sony L series, these NPF 750 batteries, the Sony L series batteries, and it does, it works. The chip will take a 7 volt DC source and you know, bump it up to 12 volts, and I've tested it on a meter, so it is 12 volts. So it, you know, basically whatever's in here will work for the Sony batteries as well. I just decided to go back to this plate because I liked it. It was a lot slimmer, but it's using these Canon batteries for the old GL cameras. But that's it. That is a DIY 12 volt power source for your BlackMagic Pocket Cinema Camera. I just have it mounted here on the Shape BlackMagic Pocket Cinema cage. So hopefully I'll get a better article out there on how to do this, but I'll point over to some of the 12 volt battery plates that are online, and hopefully you guys could figure it out. If not, just ask me some questions Check it out on the blog, cheesycam.com.